The Fox 61 News at 10 starts now.
A new wave of violence in the Middle East following the U.S. and Israel's coordinated attacks on Iran with the aim of regime change. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. We've learned 3 U.S. service members were killed during Saturday's operation, and 5 more are seriously injured. Jen Sullivan reports on the growing violence.
Parts of Iran's capital under plumes of smoke Sunday as Israel launches a new wave of strikes on Tehran. You can see here people trying to flee the violence.
Combat operations continue at this time in full force, and they will continue until all of our objectives are achieved.
This comes a day after the U.S. and Israel launched a massive and coordinated missile attack designed to eliminate the Iranian regime and its nuclear program.
This is a decision of real leadership to remove such a threat and enable the world to breathe.
The strikes killed Iran's supreme leader, along with members of his family, Iran's defense minister, and other key military leaders. According to Iranian state media, hundreds of civilians were also killed, including at least 165 students whose school was hit by one of the U.S.-Israel strikes. Iran launching a wave of retaliatory strikes on U.S. military bases, targets in Israel and across the Middle East, vowing to avenge their supreme leader's death.
If President Trump didn't want to see Iran hitting back and pushing back, President Trump should have not started this war from the beginning.
Iranian missiles hitting this residential building near Jerusalem Sunday. The complex have rocked densely populated areas and damaged air hubs in the Middle East. This video showing smoke filling the Dubai airport.
We've seen wave after wave of Iranian missile and drone attacks. I think is a very clear message on the part of the Iranians that no one is safe.
Oil shipments also disrupted. This tanker was struck in the Strait of Hormuz. About 20% of the world's oil travels through this major route between the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
And here at home, dozens of protesters gathered in New Haven in opposition to the U.S. military intervention in Iran.
Fox 61's Valerie Marabi talked to community members and has more.
As many people take the streets nationwide to celebrate the death of Iranian Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, dozens gather in New Haven to voice opposition to the U.S. military involvement in that country, asking President Donald Trump to stop the war in Iran.
Community leaders gather at New Haven City Hall Sunday to protest over U.S. strikes on Iran and to urge President Donald Trump to end the war.
I believe that we will win! I believe that we will win!
The rally comes after President Trump authorized Operation Epic Fury to, quote, eliminate the imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime.
Whenever the United States and Israel bombs a school, the money is really coming out of the pockets of American parents who can't send their children to school.
Well, the operation comes after more than 40 years of Iranian aggression. White House officials say the goal was to bring peace through strength. On a social media post Saturday, Chairman of Connecticut's Republican Party, Ben Proto, backed the president's actions, saying in part, quote, by standing shoulder to shoulder with our greatest ally, Israel, the United States has sent an unmistakable message to the radical regime and Tehran. The days of threatening America, American lives, and global security with nuclear blackmail are over. While many people say they felt relieved following the leader's death, local activist Phil Campbell questions the country's financial priorities.
And we have to make sure that we express that this is not our war, because we know that we didn't vote for this. Again, I was sleeping when this started. I didn't consent to this. And therefore, it was so important that we mobilize as quick as possible to express that this war is not in our name.
Josefa Perez says she joined the movement because she strongly opposes to President Trump's operation to bomb Iran. She says she wants a better system for the American people.
We have no business to interfere with anybody's government. How do we like that if somebody comes here all of a sudden and bombs our country because they don't like our president or our government? You know, think about it. Somebody suddenly, you cannot go to work because our bridge that takes you to work is down. And all of a sudden, you cannot go to the gas station next door because there's a bomb right across the other side, and you cannot go there. So everything is going to stop. The trucks that go to your supermarket and bring you food, how will you feel about that?
Well, local leaders say they're still concerned about what's going to happen next, but they say they will continue raising their voice for peace. Reporting in New Haven, Valerie Moravi, Fox 61.
We had spring fever yesterday, and then today, winter reality settled back in again. We saw a few snow showers out there, although it didn't amount to a whole lot. And even colder air is going to be settling in tonight. We're looking at overnight lows in the teens for most of the state, so it's a cold start to the day tomorrow. And even though we are looking at a warmer week ahead, another thing that we're going to be watching closely is a brief mix changing to rain on Tuesday. That could lead to a few slippery spots, but overall impacts look fairly minor unless things trend a little bit cooler. Right now we're looking at temperatures in the 20s. Overnight lows will be in the teens as we head towards daybreak. Lots of sunshine tomorrow. By lunchtime we're in the mid-20s. High temperatures will only be around 30. A far cry from 50 degrees, which is where we were yesterday. Then heading into Tuesday, we are dry in the morning. Then as we head through the afternoon, we'll see a rising chance for snow or a light mix. And I do think it is all fairly light in intensity. And as we head through the late afternoon and early evening, we will transition entirely over to rain. But before that changeover happens, again, there could be a few slippery spots. So we'll be watching that, especially for schools. And then we're back up near 50 on Wednesday. We'll talk more about it. Your full forecast is coming up in just a bit.
All right, Rach, thank you. New Haven police are investigating two separate incidents of violence from Saturday night that left 4 people hurt. One was a double shooting, the other was a double stabbing.
And both investigations are still active tonight. Fox 61's Kate Pattyfoot spoke with people in the area where the shooting happened.
New Haven police have arrested 22-year-old Nakia Bratton in connection with a shooting Saturday night.
2 shootings, one night, and New Haven is still waiting for action louder than the gunfire.
It's just showing the differences in how things are with our kids today, and the kids are getting younger, and how they're able to get a hold to guns and all kinds of assault rifles, things that they should not have any contact with. And it's horrible to see that it's spilling over into our community.
Sharon Roman is a loyal customer of ROKU, where the shooting took place, and is disturbed by what happened Saturday evening. According to New Haven police, 2 males were shot inside the restaurant.
I come here often. I've been coming here for over 25 years, and the owner is always welcoming. And for him to be subjected to this is horrible.
Saturday evening, there was a large police presence on Grand Avenue. Police say a 17-year-old male from Hamden was sitting at a table inside the restaurant when he was approached by Nakia Bratton and another male. A fight then broke out, and the second male and juvenile were both shot. They fled the restaurant, and Bratton stayed and tried to hide a gun. Police located that gun and a second firearm. Bratton also had a high-capacity magazine in his pocket. Nearby restaurant owners say they checked on their employees when they found out what happened.
I was worried about what happened, and then my wife called the family and the store to see if everybody was fine. And then yes, they say it was fine, but they say, well, it was down the street, and then they closed the street, they closed the road.
Roman said this incident highlights the need for more programs for young people.
You know, our mayor is an awesome mayor in New Haven, but I think he needs to find other resources for our young kids. You know, they definitely need other things to do, and they need to open the Boys and Girls Club back up.
Bratton was arrested with a number of charges, including carrying a pistol without a permit and 2 counts of illegal possession of a high-capacity magazine. The 2 individuals shot are suffering non-life-threatening injuries.
The owner of the restaurant ROKU did not want to go on camera, but he did say he cooperated fully with New Haven police. In New Haven, Kate Pattyfoot, Fox 61.
Well, fire crews responded to a house fire in Stafford Springs this morning. Firefighters were called to East Street just after 9:30. They say they faced challenges like steep terrain, deep snow, icy conditions, and a down power line. There are no hydrants in the area, so they had to truck in water using more than 120,000 gallons to put it out. It took more than 6 hours to bring the fire under control, we're told. The home is a loss, but thankfully no one was hurt. It's unclear what started the fire. And firefighters in East Haven quickly knocked down a fire at a local restaurant this morning. Dispatchers received a call just before noon for smoke coming from De Palma's Pizza on Main Street. Fire crews say there was smoke and fire coming from the back of the building, and the damage was contained to that area, although the rest of the building has smoke damage. It's unclear what started this fire as well.
An overnight fire in Torrington's Torringford district brought a large emergency response. Crews were first dispatched just before 10 p.m. last night to a reported chimney fire on Farmstead Lane. And while responding, dispatchers began receiving additional calls reporting a structure fire in the same area. And when crews arrived, they found flames venting through the roof, prompting a second alarm. Additional firefighters were called in, and mutual aid crews from nearby towns responded to help and provide coverage. There's no word yet on injuries or what caused the fire. State police are examining a heavy presence, or explaining, I should say, a heavy presence at the Goodwill store in Oxford today. Officials say they responded to an accidental discharge of a firearm at the Quarry Walk location. No one was injured. Police say the owner of the weapon is cooperating, and the incident remains under investigation.
Heavy-duty wrecker had to be called in to pull a car that fell and rolled down a 100-foot embankment off Route 9 in Berlin this morning. Thankfully, the driver, the only person in the car, got out safely. They didn't even go to the hospital. We're told the scene was cleared just before 6 a.m. We have a traffic alert in Mansfield for tomorrow. It's related to last month's train derailment. Town officials say Route 32, also known as Stafford Road, will be closed for 3 to 4 hours so heavy equipment can be moved. But the exact timing of the closure has not yet been announced. If you travel through that area, you're urged to watch for updates and plan for some delays.